Hey everyone, welcome into this episode of Best Practices with UAC. We have Scotty Cooper with us, and Scotty and his dad Ken, Scotty's Ken's son, but Scotty's had an integral part in helping build that practice and the operations and the pipeline they have built. They've sent 40 to 50 kids to chiropractic school by partnering with their local college, and we have a supply issue right now of chiropractors. This episode, I think, is a solution that, if taken seriously, could change our profession. If every single chiropractor, or just a percentage of chiropractors, a small percentage, took to heart what Scotty's out there in his community in Fullerton doing, this will change our profession. This is a great podcast, especially if you care about the future of our profession. Before we get started today, we got a sponsor that makes this possible, and today it's Clinic Mind. As a UAC member, you know how important it is to have the right systems supporting your growth. And even not if you're a UAC member. That's why UAC recommends Clinic Mind. This all-in-one platform brings together scheduling, documentation, billing, and patient engagement into one seamless system. With built-in automation and AI-driven tools, Clinic Mind helps your team stay focused, efficient, and fully aligned as you scale. If you're interested, visit clinicmind.com to learn more or schedule a demo, and be sure to mention UAC and this Best Practices podcast when you do. Let's get into the episode. Everyone, welcome to the UAC Best Practices Podcast. Our hope is that you hear a little something from one of our guests, one of the UAC members, that you can take, a little nugget that you can take and apply to your practice or your personal life or whatever it might be, and make an impact right away. And I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Alan Miner. So Doc, why don't you take us away, introduce our guest? Thanks, Cap. Yeah, today we have Scotty Cooper, and I don't know, Scotty's been around UAC for a long time. And really what's unique to me, role of Scotty's not the chiropractor. His dad, Ken's the chiropractor, and Scotty kind of came up in that environment and got inspired by it, and then stepped into operationally really having a lot to do with, the guidance of the practice, of the family practice called Cooperstown in Fullerton, California. And Scotty, what's interesting is, in a world of, as owner and founder of Chiro Matchmakers, our numbers, there's 5 openings right now for every 1 available associate doctor. And I was in a meeting at Parker earlier this year. Last year was the lowest number of chiropractic graduates since they've been tracking that number. Also, I will say, the joint bumped up to $100,000 base in most markets. That combination of a supply shortage and most students knowing they can now get a $100,000 job has created this interesting dynamic where there really is a supply shortage. And as we talk about that, you're over here blazing your own trail with a very long lens, a very strategic long-term plan to really pour into people at the college level, and how that arc has created into you guys having this supply stream of doctors that you have influenced and come in with you. So I want to talk about that. I think a lot of people can find this really interesting. So let's just start there. You work with Cal State Fullerton. You go in and you do courses for them. How did that start, and what happens with those relationships, and how does that end up with people maybe not even thinking about being chiropractors? So talk about a long-term vision. This isn't like I'm recruiting for the job I have right now. It's I'm doing a 4 or 6 year play here. So just give us some insights into how you started that, how it's going, the arc of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of realized that every school has a internship or externship department at their college. Cal State Fullerton has 40,000 undergrad students. There's a ton of other colleges nearby as well, but that's going to be the one that's literally across the street. What I figured out is that most students, first of all, want mentorship. And second of all, they actually need a internship to graduate. So I met with the internship program director, and I found out that they have this portal that you go on, and you can create this listing where a student can actually get college credit to be in your clinic. So for us, what we do is I made a listing on there, and then every semester I have anywhere from 15 to 30 students apply to be basically like a scribe and and get to be like right next to the doctor in our clinic. It's cool because it allows them to see, is chiropractic the thing that would interest them. I have this whole process that we go through. So when someone applies, I call them, I talk to them, I kind of hint at the chiropractic principles. They don't understand it necessarily when I first am talking to them, but they're just excited to have like a mentor or someone that's like, okay, this is someone that I can look up to. Once they come in, we kind of end up picking our favorites. And then, per semester, I have about 5 to 6 interns that will scribe. They'll be in the practice. They'll help out with stuff, but they're learning and absorbing so much the whole time. Then the ones that we really like, we encourage them to look at a school that's a principled chiropractic school. For us, being in California, we send them, we say, Life West is a great idea. So they go there, and then a lot of them want to come back because it's like, hey, these are the people that have believed in me forever, and I want to
So,
be part of their system.
so Scotty, back up just a little bit. How long ago did you first start doing this?
We started this, like really started it about 10 years ago.
And how many do you guys? I always thought the best metric for chiropractors was how many people became chiropractors from your practice. I think
Yeah,
that's the pay it forward, not what your collections, what's your volume. How many people went to chiropractic school? Do you guys know that number?
it's, I believe, between 40 and 50.
I mean, that
Whoa.
is, imagine if every chiropractor was doing that. And that's
Right,
harkens back to how a lot of people got into chiropractic was they had an experience. And so maybe somebody's
right.
not having experience, but they're getting inspired because you guys are going out of your comfort zone. This isn't benefiting you today, but when you have a vision for your community, I mean, now 10 years later, I have to guess you guys have a pipeline of graduates who would love to come back and work. And I mean, I'm just going to guess you guys probably have an issue where you don't have enough space to take on that many chiropractors.
That's exactly what I'm facing right now.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Brian,
mean,
this reminds me of what you talked about in New York at UAC.
yeah.
How do we solve this problem?
Yeah, this is perfect,
The
like
Coops have
UAC
done that.
conversation unfolding right, live here. I'm thinking like, Alan, that's a great model for chiro matchmakers, man. Like pairing practices with these interns and
Right.
building an intern pipeline, and then eventually they become chiropractors. But Scotty's
Yeah.
doing it locally. I don't know, you want to scale it across the country, but yeah, this is a perfect example of what happens at UAC, and it's just happening right here. But yeah, there's a huge problem in chiropractic. I mean, the profession is shrinking. Uh,
Uh-huh.
Kind of, and most of and Scott, I don't know that this was your, the reason for doing it. It sounds like it just happened naturally and organically, but yeah, if everybody was able to do this, it would change the profession. There's other problems with the profession too that need to be fixed as well, but
Uh-huh.
that's a huge one. The reason it works, by the way, one of the main reasons it works is not just that you're awesome and Ken is awesome. The practice is awesome and it's successful. And those kids are coming into that practice and not just seeing chiropractic, they're seeing it done well and successfully so that they can
Uh-huh.
envision themselves being a chiropractor and financially doing well. Like
Yeah,
that.
Scott, can you just take a minute to explain what you guys have done and your dad's done with concussion work and talk a little bit about the niche of the practice? Because I do think that's a variable I don't want to skip over, as
Yeah.
Brian just alluded to. You guys have created a very compelling practice model that I think probably does inspire a lot of these people. So talk a
Uh-huh.
little bit about that. Why are you guys different than the typical chiropractor?
Yeah, so we definitely look at it through more of a neurological lens. So we're looking at how, the brain is affecting everything via the nervous system. So we kind of niched with concussion, but the thing is that concussion really isn't just a hit to the head. It could be a chemical thing. It could be, we call it a chemical concussion if there's mold in the house, if there's, exposing these different toxins. So we have a lot of just kind of more thinking about it through like a brain or neurological kind of system. So we end up seeing a lot of families with that. We do see athletes, but our main thing right now is definitely families. But it ends up being one of those things where it's like, a mom had a child that hit their head and or like was always having these fevers and didn't really know why they're having fevers all the time. And then once we were able to connect it back to, like one of the funniest stories is these parents came in and they had two kids that were like about 4 and 3. And they both were getting sick all the time and the mom like didn't know what to do. She like tried everything, couldn't figure it out. Turns out through our process, we figured out that the kids were kind of like being like rams and they were like running straight into each other, like headbutting each other.
Oh,
And so
I do it.
once we identified that and kind of did our protocols on them, the fever stopped because the body was doing what it's designed to do. And the mom was like, this is insane. And so, we have people that our average person travels at least 45 minutes to our clinic. And we're in, Orange County where it's super populated. There's chiropractors everywhere, but we have people that drive a good distance to come see us because they know it makes a difference. And then not only do you do the chiropractic piece, but then we're really big in the nutritional side, so feeding the body with what it needs to heal. And that's my dad and I do a lot of training for different doctors for that. And that's kind of a big part of what we do too.
Scotty, where do you guys, so you're literally going to have a problem of so many people you put in school coming through. How are you guys personally trying to capitalize on that, serve those people? I mean, I'm curious just to hear what you guys are strategizing for the future.
Yeah, it is a thing that I'm dealing with right now. And it's funny because it's like not only that, but it's also like once they come back, how do I get them up and trained? And so that's been a thing I've really focused on these last few months is kind of creating I realized in Go High Level you can create like a course basically. And so I created a course that's for our doctors to onboard. So I have one going through it right now, but it's cool because I add all these other things into it, whether it, not just be day 1, 2, and 3, but like all these other things that are just years of our knowledge poured into this database. Because the thing is, these doctors, they don't learn the same way like we might learn. They're the kind of the TikTok fast video generation on my own time kind of people. So having that library of stuff, I assign them, you need to do this, this, and this by the next time I see you. And they'll do it because they can do it on their own time. They take notes and they learn it.
Scotty, I'm curious with your unique model and this pipeline of docs coming out and this training system to get them up to speed, are you guys going to have to start figuring out a marketing plan to attract enough people in for these docs to serve? Or do you have enough buzz from the uniqueness of what you do that you can just take care of those people, the docs coming in? Are you going to have to figure out the other end of the equation of getting more people for you guys to serve? Or
yeah, that is kind of the thing too, is like for that many doctors to build that demand. That is something we've kind of worked on and done. I've done a lot of work with that, but that is like the current thing that I'm kind of working on. One of the cool things that I did recently, or about last year, I did like the Every Door Direct Mail. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. So the post office has a service called Every Door Direct Mail. What it is I didn't even know the post office kept these kind of stats, but they'll tell you the average on a route, the average like people that live in that like amount of people in that home and the average income of a route and age and all these different things. So instead of just instead of blasting like a whole or like having to buy a list, what you can do is you can actually target a route. And it's a lot cheaper to mail via that route. And what we were doing is we were targeting, we had a good friend of ours, Dr. Stacy, tell us about how she had done this. And what she does is she targets like people that live on a golf course, for example, and invite them to a dinner to come to learn about chiropractic or soft wave or decompression or whatever it is that you want to kind of market. But you can blast this whole route. Don't have to buy a list. So we just did that with like a QR code. Someone scans it. It kind of filters out the people that really don't want it anyway. And then the people that are really scanning it are pretty qualified already. They show up to a dinner, and most of those people that show up end up, having some sort of care with us. It's a pretty cool, it's been profitable for us every time. And then just found like a good place to have dinner, like a healthier, Mediterranean restaurant. They let us we do it like on a Tuesday night. So they're juiced to give us the patio because they know they normally wouldn't fill it anyway.
Yep.
So that's been pretty great for us too.
Well,
they sit down and then we just do like our presentation while they're bringing out food, and they love it because it's, you get to break bread with them, and they love being able to learn and hear the chiropractic message.
that's awesome, Scotty. Well, I appreciate it, man. Last question we always wrap with is, for you personally, UAC, you've been around it a long time. What has been the benefit, the value for you being in this group?
Yeah, I think for me, I came out of college and I didn't really, I thought I was going to be playing professional football. I don't know if you guys know this, I had a professional tryout set up and I broke my fibula a week before it. And so I thought that's what I was going to do. And I kind of was a little lost. And my dad was like, I need you just to come with me to one of these events. And I did. And I was just so on fire. And it was cool because I got to learn from people like you. And I just got to sit in the room and just listen. And for years, I just got to absorb and sponge so much information from so many thought leaders. And it's cool because now I get to like take some of that and I get to mentor the next generation. And it's firsthand from the people that to me are the biggest mentors in my life. And so I think it always makes me think bigger because I think like, oh, I'm doing something good. And then I go to an event and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not even close. I need to level up again. And it's been incredible for me. I think I think the trajectory in my life, it's definitely been a springboard for me. So I love it. And I'm super appreciative.
Well done, Scotty. It's an honor to have you guys be a part of it. And so fun to thank you for that share. That's going to inspire a lot of people, what you guys are up to.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.